Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Want to learn how to get back your ex? Check the link in the description box to learn how. Anybody have trauma with social media because of their ex? I endured a 3-year relationship with my ex. I went no contact and have no desire to get back with him, which makes me happy I can start over. But I feel so empty that someone was able to control my emotions the way that he did with something as simple as social media. I use social media as a way to connect and to explore. Now, it's tarnished by my traumatic experience with my ex and his constant infidelity. I find it hard scrolling nowadays. Any social media platform. I have constant trauma flashbacks of how he would find women through Instagram. I remember when I found out he hooked up with this girl through his Instagram DMs. How he would make Tinder accounts, Snapchat accounts. His whole entire Instagram algorithm explore page was borderline softcore porn of Asian women, which made me feel like an object. I'm Asian myself, making me think that I was just part of his collection and a fetish. I recently saw how Facebook has a dating feature, so random, which triggered me. He made me insecure, which he kept denying, OFC, and to feel in control. I used to monitor what girls he was following. I know, it wasn't healthy. I would have constant anxiety if he was DMing a girl, looking for other women, etc. After the breakup, I stupidly looked at his following on Instagram, and to no surprise he followed a bunch of local women that I know. 1. I feel very embarrassed and obviously hurt because I know he is reaching out to them and trying to butter them up. Usually, these girls fall for it as I used to go through his phone. Every single woman he would follow he would pursue. I'm in my early 20s and he's in his late 20s. So he knows he's attractive and charismatic. Tells them what they want to hear. It, to no shock, works every time. The girls fawn over him and love his attention. I never saw a girl deny him honestly too. I know his actions don't define my value, but it is so sickening to think he's immediately up to that after our breakup. Like, does he pull up a list of women to look up when he's ready to forget about me? He spent the last weeks of our relationship telling me I'm crazy and that he's not up to cheating. But as soon as we break up, he immediately has a single file line of women that he's probably been eyeing out while being with me, lol. This is exhausting. It's so disgusting. I spent so much of my 20s to someone whose only hobbies are lust, porn, and the objectification of women. I also hate that I view other women differently. I feel like I'm in constant competition. I am not the type to SLT shame and etc., but he made me this way. I miss my old self so much. I go to therapy, so hopefully with time it stops. I feel so disgusting and used on the inside. I feel so weird that I let someone that close for him to easily go to the next person. Has anyone's experience with social media changed after infidelity? I'm kind of struggling with my feelings right now. BC, I keep thinking of our last few moments together of him. He would tell me that our relationship would never work because I can't forget about the cheating, too. I seriously hate him. TLDR, traumatized from social media because ex would cheat on there. Does anyone feel the same, and how do you cope with it? Have you successfully healed from this happening to you? Here are some of the best comments from our community. There's a podcast called Helping Couples Heal, and while it's focused mainly on reconciliation, which I'm definitely not suggesting, I do think the first 6 episodes would really help validate how you're feeling. They talk about the trauma caused by infidelity and common behaviors and responses to that trauma. I see a lot of similarities in what you're describing and my personal situation, and I found that podcast to be very validating, even though I don't wish to ever get back with my ex. Hope you find peace. XX. Never really been into social media, so really can't relate. Reading your post, it became apparent that you already know this is not your fault. As you said, his actions don't determine your worth. But sometimes our emotions take some time to catch up to what our brain already understands. Just give yourself some time, you already have half of the work done. The best remedy would be to cut off social media if you can't avoid looking up his profiles or if he pops up in friends and common updates. But if social media is something you really enjoy, it can feel unfair to be the one that has to leave it when you didn't do anything wrong. In that case, the struggle will be greater, but you will have to be extra conscientious in keeping you in check and not fall back into stalking his profile. Ike. I've been on social media since MySpace. I dislike it, a lot. Usually mine is deactivated more often than not since 2014. Really, why don't you just try to take a break? 6 months. A year. I've been on Reddit since 2015? I even tried to delete it. Managed a few days, lol. My ex was some sort of a social media influencer. He had most of his following on Livem. The guy lived for online attention and validation. Sounds like your ex, too. But you don't need it to explore. Try it like I used to do back in 2005. We didn't have smartphones back then. I had a map in my center console in my vehicle. I was in a new town. I'd drive around at 2 in the morning, get lost, look at the map, find my way home. You don't need social media to explore your world. Put it away. Walk outside. Another cheating story. This is my story. I hope it can help someone going through a similar situation. I, 32F, met my ex, 40 meters, at work. I had recently moved to a new city and we clicked. He asked me out and we started seeing each other casually. I was aware he had kids, but he told me he was separated and living with his older auntie. Things evolved from there. He started getting jealous, he told me he loved me. I wasn't ready but decided to go with the flow. And we started a relationship. He introduced me to some of his friends, took me to his auntie's place, we went on holidays together. Even to his close friends event, full of people who know well him and his family. I didn't suspect anything. There was red flags I ignored. He'd cancel last minute, would always leave very early in the morning, and he'd mention family problems to justify some things that didn't add up, and he'd ask for patience while being very explicit on his love and plans for us. A year later, I received a call and message from an unknown number, his wife. I had a long conversation with her, shared chats and was honest. She couldn't believe it, he denied everything even if it was so obvious. A 1-year-long lie, lies about everything, where he lived, where he was, who he was. I'm sure now he was involved with even more women. I got standard tested, I was lucky. I didn't block him or make any scene. He kept insisting he wanted me, and would follow me everywhere. I knew it was dead, but didn't have the strength to go NC. Funny enough, my body started rejecting him, I couldn't find him attractive anymore. I didn't force it on myself, and my feelings naturally faded. I met new people, a new job, and moved on. Now this is just something I can laugh at. I want to say that there is hope. It's not easy to go through something like that, but it will get better. And you'll realize you're resilient. You'll probably also feel the dumbest in the room, it happened to me, but that's not true. You're just a loving person who got played. And they will have to deal with the pain of having lost you. TLDR, I found out my BF of 1 year was married. It was shocking, but I'm now happy. If you're going through that, know that it'll get better and you'll laugh at this one day. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.